What's up guys, JT Offroad here. Today's video, we're finally getting shocks on the YJ. So if you remember about 2 years ago, sadly I really haven't touched this Jeep since then, but I got an 8.8 in and I didn't get shocks mounted. I made lower tabs for it that were, they're about center line of where the axle is. They didn't droop down. I wanted to keep them up higher to get them out of, you know, obstacles in the way, rocks, whatever. When I put my shocks in, they were too long and were bottoming out right away. So obviously I needed to either get smaller shocks or increase the height above. And I didn't want to get smaller shocks, so I finally ordered some new brackets. I got these brackets from M.O.R.E Offroad. If you want to talk about beefy, this is probably about the definition of that. Look how freaking thick these things are. They're just massive. They're about 3/8 thick. The idea behind these are that they raise your upper mounting location up to about 2 inches above stock. So what you do is this hole goes over your upper mounting stud, and then you have to drill a hole in the bottom for this little piece to go in. And then this is now your upper mounting location. So I was going to try to just do something myself, but I decided this would be easier. I would just order it. It is about, I think, $100 for both of these, but now seeing how thick these things are and how strong these are, and these are probably never gonna fail. But before anything else, I need to get these sanded, primed, and painted. So the paint dried up nicely. These are all ready to get put on, but I'm not gonna put them on just yet. I got some other stuff I want to kind of get done with the Jeep in the meantime. Not really going to film it, but I just wanted to let you guys know because I don't feel like making an extra video for this, and you guys really won't care specifically for a video for this. But I am going back to my old flares and fenders. I'm going to go ahead and take these flares off. I liked them at first, but there's just something about it. I just don't like the look on my Jeep as much. I like the older flares and fenders that I had. Eventually I'd really like to get some metal cloaks, but that's just not in the cards for right now. So we're gonna put these back on. It was nice to try to cover them for inspection, but haven't had the thing inspected in 2 years, so I'm not really gonna be driving on the road. Most importantly, I just need to get it to go off-roading again, which the other flares and fenders did fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those on. And the old fenders and flares are back on. This is the Jeep I remember having so much fun with. What hasn't been fun is fighting the battle the Jeep's been giving me trying to put these brackets on. So the toughest part for me so far has been trying to get that hole drilled. So I got it drilled and it's just very, very hard, thick, deep steel. I had to try plenty of different bits. I ended up getting some Milwaukee Cobalt bits, and they still gave me a lot of trouble trying to get this stuff drilled. So once I got the hole drilled, it was time to put the mount on. So you slide the mount on just fine, looks great. It's kind of hard to show this, but there's a little bit of a gap between the back of the bracket to the existing shock mount. Now I'm sure that's fine if you're putting new brackets on your axle, but I already put these on based on the original location. So when I put a shock in, it's actually kind of twisted a little bit. So it might be okay, but I feel like the bushings would just wear and stuff would just not work right. In the instructions, it even mentions filing down. Now I don't know if they mean filing down the hole to get the tab to fit or filing down this metal here. On the other side, I filed down the metal and, you know, just my luck, I find rust like I always do. So that's what we're looking at right now. So I'm still trying to grind this down a little more so I can get this as flat as possible. And then after that, we'll see what we have and see if it's actually gonna be structurally sound. I would think so, as long as there's enough metal there for that tab. There's still a lot of metal on that mount, so it might be okay. Worst comes to worst, if it's really bad, I might end up having to weld in some new metal. But we'll get to that point once we get all this stuff ground down. Grinding this down has helped get the mount closer to the very edge of that upper stud. So it does seem to be working. The angle is a lot better just going off of what I have already. But if you're doing this and you're getting, you know, welding in new mounts on your axle, definitely get this done first. You might not have to grind all that down to get it over as far. Alrighty guys, there we go. We got it in. Bolts are not in. Just in here showing you that the shock is in. Don't have the upper nuts on either. That's because this is coming right back off because I need to paint it. But I also need to just wrap this video up. This video has been taking a very long time just because I don't have a lot of time to work on this. And it's just a lot of grinding and stuff that's going on. So the back of this is about as flush as it's going to get. I ran into the same issue here. A bunch of it rusted away, and I just ground through all that rust. But I was a little more methodical about grinding this time. I actually put the mount on and used a marker to kind of highlight the edge that I didn't really need to go past. It went a whole lot easier. So that's all ground down as much as it needs to be. I'm not going to weld in new metal. I'm sure you guys are going to tell me I'm an idiot for not doing that, and this mount's probably just going to break right off. But to me, I think it's going to be okay. At least that's what I'm telling myself. You guys will be sure to tell me I'm an idiot down in the comments, but let me know what you think, if this mount's just going to break right off or what. But I think we'll be okay. So the mount is still just a little off, not exactly where it needs to be. You can see there's a little bit of angle in that shock. It's not exactly parallel, but it's as good as it's going to get. Yes, it looks like the top of that shock is going to hit, but these are not the shocks I'm going to be using. They will easily bottom out, and I don't need that. So I have to measure for smaller shocks. That again will not be in this video. That'll be later on. I'll probably just recap when it's all done. But as far as getting everything grinded down and getting the mounts to where they need to be, that was accomplished. I will say this was such a good purchase. I recently did a video on this die grinder set, mainly using the right angle die grinder. I didn't really do anything with the straight die grinder, but this helped out so much. I'd accidentally drilled the one hole a little bit off, and I got these burr bits from Harbor Freight, and these carbide burrs just did an amazing job. It was effortless trying to chew through some of that metal. It also did a really good job. That's really tight in there and not easy to get a angle grinder in, and honestly it doesn't do a great job taking this metal away. These carbide bits really chewed that metal away, did an awesome job. So I used that in combination with this, and being in a tight space I was able to get it off pretty easy. The only downfall is just metal shards all over the place, on your clothes, in your hair. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it is a great tool and did an awesome job. If you don't have access to a very big air compressor, these are lifesavers. Like I said, still got a little bit of painting to do, so I'll get that wrapped up off camera and get that all finished. But I just wanted to get this video done so I can move on to other things that I need to get done on the Jeep. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have used these brackets before, the things that you've run into, if you've kind of done the same thing I've done, or if you just put the brackets on and welded in your own mounts after the fact and got all that geometry, you know, parallel. So if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. I'd say that's about it for this video, guys. See you in the next one.